record it.
No
Bad.
worries. Yeah.
If you could start off by like giving an introduction about yourself, that would be amazing.
Yeah, like a whole blurb. Do you want like, a really short version of the life story or
Yes.
okay, hi, I'm Matt Farren. I live in Los Angeles, but I'm from Northern California, from Sonoma County specifically, and I've been writing music for more than 10 years now. So I've been doing this for a while.
Awesome. Who or what inspired you to start wanting to pursue a career in the industry and like releasing and recording music?
Yeah, it was actually a really roundabout way to do it. I went to school for screenwriting. I went to Loyola Marymount University, and my whole life I've worked on film and movies and acting specifically. That was the first thing I ever knew I wanted to do. But I, again, like just found myself writing music all the time when I was young. I had a piano at the house, and I really loved writing. And the person who really like made me realize I didn't have to choose was Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. He started off as a screenwriter, working on the show 30 Rock, and we all know his music, and we've seen him in movies and writing and directing TV shows. And getting at a early age to see that that was possible made it so that it was something that I felt like I could very comfortably pursue.
That's great. He went to like my old school, so
Oh,
um
no kidding. That would be NYU, right?
no, like my high school.
Oh, no kidding. That's really cool.
Yeah. What has been your favorite part about working in the industry?
Definitely the community of it. Because again, I'm still working independently, but I work with a lot of really cool people, whether it's the making of the music, or even like working on music videos is so much fun because it's such a fun team. And again, with my experience with film, I'm usually kind of heading that up. And so I get to pull my favorite people together to make something we're all really excited about. But in any art, I love the fact that you get to work with people that you love. But with music specifically, I really, really like the fact that not only can you work with that community, but you can have something to show for it by the end of the day. 'Cause you work on film, it's gonna take a while. You at quickest you might have something in 48 hours, but with music, you can discover something in a moment, and in 3 minutes have created something that you are just so excited about. And I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. And to like build off of that, like what artist or like professionals have you worked with?
Hmm. So I can't say everyone's names because of NDAs and whatnot, because we're still pretty early. The first professional experience I had though is with a guy named Anthony Meyer. I love this guy. The way I met him was I was a VIP tour guide at Universal Studios. So this is like way before I started kind of doing this professionally. But we just made friends with each other. He was on the tour. I was leading him around and we followed each other on Instagram. And then it was like at least half a year later, I was posting about the first songs that I was releasing, like my first singles. And he listened to them because he saw them, and he literally commented on one of my posts, like, "These sound great. If you want me to mix any of them for you for free, just let me know." And that's how I found out he did music. Like, we didn't even talk about it. We just were friends. And so then I got to fly out to his studio up in farther north in Northern California, and just seeing like the plaques on the walls and the like the records that are hanging with people that he's worked with was so eye-opening to me.
That's amazing. Like, what is your artistic process when you're like producing or writing music?
It continues to change when it comes to like the very beginning of the song. Usually it's a lyric, and I'm usually singing the lyrics as they come, because if I don't hear the musicality in them initially, then it might just end up in a screenplay instead. But if I think of something that just like rhythmically and sonically feels like something that should be sung, then that kind of I build a song around it. And that's almost the majority of every single song I've ever made. There are a couple of exceptions. There's a song I've put out called Clyde and Bonnie, where the guitar part I wrote first and then crafted the lyrics and music around that. Um, and then the song I just put out yesterday, Now She's Married, that was the biggest exception because I sat down with a guitar the night that I found out that like my first love had gotten married. Like, and I didn't even know she was dating someone. I found that out and I sat down and I was like, I have to write a song about this feeling. And so I was trying to figure out the guitar at the same time as the lyrics and the music. And knowing my process, I don't think I should have been able to create something, but feeling that very specific emotion brought something out of me for sure.
Perfect. And like, have you faced any challenges in the industry and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge also ties back to my favorite thing about it, which is kind of the community element of it. I really love working with others, and I really like pulling other people into the projects I'm doing. I don't feel kind of satisfied when I've written a good song and produced the track and have something that sounds good. That's not enough for me. I really want somebody else to bring something to it, whether it's a bass line or like a different verse or anything. Because at the end of the day, I think that if an artist creates something on their own, someone else could do the same thing. Like there are 8 billion people. Statistically, it's really hard to come up with something that's truly one of a kind. But the more you combine with other people, the more you mix and match, the more you create something that's even more exceptional and unique. Plus, it's just more fun. Like getting to bounce off of someone back and forth is so energizing. And so, the biggest obstacle and at least difficulty at this point has been when I got like really excited about working with someone or had like a cool opportunity to collaborate with someone I hadn't before, and then it just disappear. Like when the ghosting happens, or when someone just takes so long and they say, "Oh, I'll get to it, I'll get to it, I'll get to it," and they never get to it. Those are the times where it's like, "Do I even want to do this?" Like that sucks. But that's at a certain point something you have to realize is a reflection of them, not a reflection of you. But when you work on this specifically, a lot of the focus is on the individual. And so it is really easy to kind of get so caught up in your own experience in your own world and the things that you're doing that you forget that the joy in it is the fact that you get to do it with other people and that you're doing it for other people. And when that's forgotten, that's when it becomes a hard thing to work on if you forget it, let alone if the people in your community forget it.
Yeah, both of those are like really valid points. And then the last question is if you have like one piece of advice for your younger self or another aspiring like musician, what would it be?
I would tell them to start working now and to finish a piece, like finish art as quickly as you can and share it as quickly as you can too. And this is because of a couple things that I've learned in the past few years. I made a feature-length movie when I graduated from college, and the biggest thing I learned from it was that when I had finished that movie and shown it to people, it was the first time I was able to go to sleep at night and not think about other things I could do with it. Like I was able to let it go. And so if you are able to work on your art and let it go, it'll enable you to move on to the next best thing that you can do. An artist is never going to run out of ideas. And so if you're concerned about that, either you're not supposed to do this, or the truth is you're just overthinking. And that's way more likely. I don't think anyone can stop creating if they're inclined to create. But then the other side of that, the reason I think people need to work so quickly is because you never find an artist at the beginning of their journey. You're not discovering them before they've done something. You're discovering them because of what they've done. And it's absolutely true. Like Van Gogh had terrible art, I'm sure, that I've never gotten to see. And if I had seen it, I would have been like, not really for me. But there's going to be a point where he puts out a painting that we now recognize as a classic and say, wow, that's amazing. From this point on, I'm locked in. And then maybe he starts making terrible things and you stop caring. And we're now going more to like the modern music comparison because there are some people who develop their craft, make something incredible. You listen to the next few projects of theirs and realize, oh, not quite for me. But there is that one. And that will bring you an audience who wants to hear what you do next. But if you don't put things out, then no one's ever going to discover you. The final like piece of that I think summarizes it best was something I learned by reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. And I'm going to butcher the actual phrasing of it, but what he was basically saying was it's an artist's work is the equivalent of a fisherman's, and that a fisherman can never fish in the same place twice. Because even if they return to the same plot of land where they'd last cast their line, the water has moved and changed, and so has the fisherman. And so when you're working on art, if you don't do this quickly and if you don't release things fast, you're never going to want to because every time you reapproach the same piece of art, you have a new perspective. The art has changed in your mind and what you care about is different. So you have to keep going so that your fans can discover you, but also so that you can go to sleep at night.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. Well, that's like it. But if you have any questions for like me or like as for the blog as a whole, you can like ask or like email me later.
I appreciate that. I mean, is there anything that I've missed or anything that you really like to share with the people who are following along with the blog that I haven't addressed? I know that a
No,
lot of what
you
I was talked about was philosophical, but
no, you did everything like amazing. I really love those like last few points that you made.
great. Okay, thank you. Well,
Thank
then,
you.
if I think of something, I will email you. If you think of something, email me, and we'll just be in touch.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good
Yeah, of
day.
course. Thank you, and thank you for your patience, Bethany. Have a
No
good day as
problem.
well.